Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. Hey guys, today is Friday, February 23rd, and the energies in the day adds up and reduce to the number 6 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. So the first thing that came to mind when I was preparing for today, well, first of all, I had today's chart up and then I had to redo it. So for me, whenever I'm doing a reading, everything, even sometimes the day before, even further, starts to come together in order to help you to see the bigger picture. And when it comes to say the energies in today, if you have to do over, or in the start of the day, you had something set out and you had to pretty much revise it or do it over, don't take it personal. An example might be you're off to work and you're, you've left home already and probably 5 minutes in, and you made tea this morning and something's like, did I turn off the stove? And even though you knew you turned off the stove, it's like you have to turn around and go back home to check just so you can have a peaceful day. I hate when that would happen to me. But there's something about, like, say you started off on the day and you had to retrack your steps. You had to go back and check something or redo something. And for me, whenever that would happen, I would just trust that maybe where I was supposed to be on the road, like, I'm being protected to be within another frequency or within another group, or maybe my energy combined with the energy that I was going to join with probably wouldn't have been a good combination. I don't really know for sure, but I just trust everything is working for my greatest good, even if I can't see it in the moment, and it later makes sense. And I feel like that's a good thing for us to practice, to know in the moment, like, I don't know why this is happening, but God, I trust you. When it comes to the spirit animal, this gazelle brings me to keep it cool, be chill, be patient when it comes to what's happening in the day. So it gives me the feeling of like delays for some of us, and then certain things not making sense in the moment, but if you just chill and give it time, things will play out. I also get the feeling of, like, say, delayed within the day, in the sense that someone were supposed to get back to you at a certain time, but they never got back to you when they said they would, but eventually they will. So if you're waiting for a response today or a call back, it's not personal. They'll get to you. Just be patient. But with the gazelle energy, I get the feeling of waiting for something to happen, waiting for something to play out. And Venus is the ruler of the day because Friday is associated with Venusian energy. And also, too, the day adds up and reduces to number 6 vibration. That also ties into Venusian energy. So there's definitely a factor when it comes to value. What is it that we value? Why we value the things that we value? And sometimes I feel like the delay thing is important to mention, because sometimes unconsciously we might take it personal when someone don't get back at us right away, and take it as, and consciously or unconsciously see it as, and they don't value me, they don't value my service, they don't value my money, they don't value my this, they don't value my that. And it's like a matter of not being valued, why this happened the way it happened. And it's like, but you don't know that for sure unless you ask them and they told you that that is the case. And then, yes, our intuition will tell us that, yeah, they don't value me. But at the same time, that could be true, but more than one things could be true at the same time. You know, more than one things could be true at the same time, in the sense that yes, it could be a situation where they don't value you and they don't care or whatever, but does that mean anything about you? Like, does it mean anything about you? Or what does it mean about you? Or does it mean anything about you? What does it mean about you? Or in another situation, I imagine, like, could it be possible that they could be going through something and that's the reason for how they're showing up? And even though it's being projected and done to you, it really has nothing to do with you, even though you're experiencing it, where anybody could have gotten it. It just so happens that it's you. That's something that's coming to mind, where I guess, in long story short, I'm saying it'll be easy to be offended when it comes to something. And if we're looking for reasons to be offended, we'll always find them. And whenever I find myself in situations nowadays where I could easily be offended, I ask myself, like, is it fair for me to put myself through the emotional things that I'm going to feel to be offended based on someone else's actions that I can't really honestly say I know the reason for? You know, I can't honestly say I know the reason for. So the gazelle energy brings me to just being patient, and from being patient over time, like, things will reveal itself, things will make sense. You know, in the moment it might not, but it'll eventually make sense. And with the day adding up to the number 6 vibration, you know, the number 6 deals with the material realm. And with the number 6 dealing with the material realm, you know, sometimes with the number 6 energy, we define our success based on material things, based on social circle status and things like that. So because we identify or associate our worth when it comes to things like that, if something shows up in a way that says we're less than, we could easily allow that to define us in ways when it absolutely shouldn't. And Venus is in Aquarius today. And with Venus in Aquarius, Aquarian energy, we value service, humanity, the group. But then at the same time, too, there's an aspect of Aquarian energy that deals with the underdog mentality. So this is where we could value that so much, to where we place ourselves in the position of the underdog when we're really not. And I used to always see myself as the underdog until I came to the realization of seeing myself as the underdog was my way of justifying why I didn't have what I think I should have at the time I should have it, or why I wasn't in a better position than I think I should be in. It was almost my way of justifying why life isn't working for me. And I came to the realization that I can't be the underdog and blessed at the same time, in the sense that me identifying with being an underdog meant that life needed to be harder for me in order to justify me being an underdog. So being an underdog means that I have to fight harder than everybody else. I have to work harder than everybody else. And blessings take longer to get to me than everybody else. So I realized that I had to drop that underdog title and mentality, because number one, it was just a way to justify my ego, to make up excuses for why things were the way they were for me. But then more than anything, it was holding me back. It was holding me back because just my identification with that, and expectation is a powerful part of manifestation. So if I'm an underdog, then I expected for life to be hard for me. So even when it wasn't, my view and my focus will only see it that way. So when it comes to, say, you know, Venus being the ruler of today, Venus is conjunct Mars and Pluto in Aquarian energy. So with the day adding up and reducing to the number 6 vibration, you know, we got to be careful today, where we could easily find ourselves not realizing that we're putting ourselves in a position to take things personal when they don't have to be. And then really also too easily triggered, because with the number 6 energy ruling over the day, the number 6 energy is very similar to Aquarian energy, meaning that it's about the humanity and it's about community. But with the number 6 energy, to me, this is where no matter what we do is ever good enough. And that will happen when we define our success based on our material growth, on titles and status. Because when it's based on titles and status, we're replaceable. We could easily be replaced by anyone. And when it comes to the things that we own, those things are constantly losing value every day. So it's this feeling of close but never getting there. So for me, success should be determined based on spiritual and emotional growth. And for me, that feels amazing, where today was a day where I had certain run-ins, I had to deal with certain things, and I was just standing back, almost having an out-of-body experience and observing myself in the interactions and just looking at how much I've grown. Moments when I would have gotten entangled into a wrestling match, an emotional wrestling match, I was able to stand back and listen to the other person and tell them, yeah, I see where you're coming from, and don't even feel the need to express how much I disagree or why, because they didn't ask and they can't hear me anyways. And my energy is just being better placed in other places on things that matter to me and adding value to my life. I'm not saying all the time I'm able to not get intertwined in emotional wrestling matches. Sometimes they catch me off guard, and in the middle of the fight, you know, I'm like, how did I get here? How did I get out? How did I get here? And how do I get out of this in the kindest way? You know, when it comes to, okay, so I feel a card popping out. Interesting. So we have the Nine of Swords in the reversal position. So the Nine of Swords in the reversal position coming out, this brings me to say being able to finally sleep or coming to peace with something. If you look in the upright position, this person can't sleep. They're up all night worrying about stuff that are just unnecessary. I say unnecessary because, like, and with everything that we're terrified of and the worst possible things that we fear, to me, when you do a process of elimination or run things through your mind or on paper, the worst thing that could ever happen to us is death. And then that is not even the worst, because we don't even truly know what that is. So when we think of all the worst things that we fear, like, it's just the idea of the thing that's so terrifying. And we stress ourselves out anticipating the possibilities of things, only to realize as time go by, so much time was wasted on something when it, you know, it never happened. So in the reversal position, it brings me to finally being able to have some kind of peace, or finally being able to me, okay, so in the upright position, right, this would remind me of the person who, would remind me of the person, okay, an example that comes to mind with this, in the upright position, would be the person that's stressed out about bills. They can't make, like, when every month, the cost of living, their lifestyle, costs way more than the money that's coming in. And they're stressed out, they can't sleep, they don't know what to do. And I always say to myself, it's not that you don't know what to do, it's because you're afraid to do what needs to be done. So I'll ask myself, what needs to be done right now that I'm not willing to face for whatever reason? In the reversal position is that person coming to the realization that, you know what, this car is too expensive and I need to trade it in for something that makes more sense for my situation right now. Or this house is so big and I'm the only one living in this big ass house. And even though it's cool to live in this neighborhood and be associated with the people that I'm associated with, I might need to just sell it, or I might need to rent it, but I need to downsize. So to me, in the reversal position, this is coming to the realization of what needs to be done. And it's like, once we've come to the realization of what needs to be done, is like, we could finally sleep now. Because in the upright position, there's something that's threatening our ego about our current situation. So something about our ego don't want to accept the truth in something because it's going to affect our status or our title in some way. So to me, this in the upright position is the person that's like, damn, this relationship's abusive and it's horrible in so many ways, but what will people say when they find out so and so and so? And then in the reversal position is like, okay, I accept the fate and the reality of what's happening around me. I could sleep now. So some kind of a realization may come to you by the end of the day, or hopefully tomorrow, or maybe today already, or recently. But some realization needs to be, you need to come to some realization about your current situation, something about your situation. But it feels like there is this ego death that needs to happen. An ego death in the sense that, to me, our ego is our identity, the way we identify with reality and the things in it, and how we identify with those things to define who we are and where we are and how far we've come. And some kind of an ego death needs to happen for me in the sense that realizing that this thing that I identify with doesn't define me. And from coming to that realization, there's freedom. So when it comes to Venus, Venus being the ruler of the day, conjunct Mars and Pluto in Aquarius, that's creating a square to Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. So something about the things that we value and our motivations having to do with our public image and our need to have control, and the people we associate ourselves with, is challenging our security and our stability. So with that square is a perfect reflection of the example that I just gave of the person that might need to give up some things about their lifestyle. But giving up some things about their lifestyle might mean that they can no longer identify with that social circle or status when they've give up that thing in order to create more security and stability for themselves. Pluto conjunct Mars and Venus in Aquarius is positively aspecting Neptune and Pisces. So with that aspect, to me, there's a level of reflection or stillness that's happening when it comes to our values and our social circles. And hopefully from that reflection and that stillness, we're able to acknowledge the truth in something that we're refusing to see. So some truth needs to be had when it comes to our values. What do you value, and why do you value the things that you value? And do the things that you value you? Such a pleasure sharing this message with you. If you'd like to book a natal chart awareness coaching session with me, or check out my exclusive content available only on Patreon, along with becoming a part of the monthly meetup group, the link to book with me and Patreon are within the description box below. But before you go anywhere, please let me know you're here with me by dropping me a white heart in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.